Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh,
Do it for the gram.
How's your game? How's your game? Oh, tell me. Alright. I'm gonna feel text me. Alright.
These pictures are actually quite beautiful.
Every picture.
Oh, yeah. Come be my teacher.
Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about my BTS experience in Chicago, which is also dubbed as the first BTS winter concert. Before I start this video, I also want to say that Chicago pizza is bomb, and also I didn't really like the Long Island, or maybe it was just the restaurant that had them.
Go ahead.
So in this first part, I will be talking about my advice, things that you should know before attending your first BTS concert. And then the second part will be my experiences and my feelings about the concert. So I'll be looking at my notes over here on my computer, but let's get started. These advices are things that you should know, not I should know. Well, it's a learning process. Are in no particular order.
Voiceover calls I rambled on. The merch line and entrance to the stadium was mixed together, so focus on getting to your seat, because they may be selling merch inside, which will be a lot faster since everyone is focused on the one outside.
So the second point that I have is read what you can't and can bring. I'm so glad that YouTube recommended me these videos where these people were showing what they were planning on bringing inside their clear bags, and then I was like, clear bags? So that like made me realize that I had to look up the guidelines of Soldier Field. So I definitely recommend doing that. What I noticed after the concert was like a lot of girls were hovering around a trash can, and that is absolutely like the last thing I want to do after a tiring concert and you're dealing with like post-concert depression. I wish that the organizers of the venue or the stadium definitely had a better way of organizing things. But then again, it was 10 o'clock at night and no one really wants to stay that late. And also the fact that rules are rules at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, and if we think they are fair or not. So this is the clear bag that I brought with me to the concert. I actually didn't bring it in because I thought it was too big and bulky, and I feel like they needed a bag that was smaller than this. But anyhow, so the first thing that I pulled out is my wallet. Next is a set of batteries that I placed in a Ziploc bag, but I didn't want to waste one. And this was for my army bomb. I had my phone, which had the coil case, but since I can't show you and record my phone at the same time, I got that from Wish. Next, we have my army bomb here with the bag. Then a water bottle. My power bank. I wore this lanyard around my neck and that photo, and then it has the charm of Namjoon. Next, we have a selfie stick, which the venue doesn't let you have one, but I just brought one to take a selfie along the way. Then I have my Kodak Play that was backup in case I ran out of battery or whatnot. And last but not least, I have my charger for my power bank. So I didn't want to bring everything in with me, so what I did for the concert was this lanyard around my neck, this was on my phone, so I didn't carry that. So the only thing that I really had to carry was batteries and my wallet and my army bomb. So I basically just brought these, and I think my power bank stopped working, so I didn't really worry about that. So I just kind of brought these in and placed this into my army bomb sack and carried it in. And then once I got to the venue, I basically just had everything in my jacket pocket or my jean pocket. The third point I want to make is make sure that if you're not an athletic person, that you kind of like train or prep yourself. I'm going to insert a clip of like the walk that we had to do, but honestly, I feel like if I wasn't hyped or I wasn't excited, and if I was just doing something else that day and I had to like walk that long, I think that would be so dreadful. But I think on that day I felt like Stanley from The Office during pretzel day. And then at the end of the day, you're like, oh my god, I have to wait 364 more days until the next pretzel day. But yeah, and also following along with that is also make sure that you bring pain medication. I'm glad that the endorphins were there that day and I didn't have to feel anything, but I think with that intense walking and also with everyone screaming loudly and whatnot, I would definitely recommend bringing some sort of pain medicine. Another thing is just bring an extra power bank if you can, or just ask a friend if you can borrow your power bank. That was so annoying because my power bank that I brought, like, I tested it before, but it like stopped working 3 minutes after I was charging my phone, and then my phone died. Which brings up to my next point is either bring extra power bank or bring an extra camera, which luckily I did. I brought my Kodak Play Sport, which I'm gonna Google search like the name whenever if you can find it if you're interested in that. The one drawback of this camera is that it doesn't really have the best quality, but then again, I rather have the memories and have poor quality than having no footage whatsoever to prove or to like remember the experience that I had during the concert. So pros and cons, you know, gotta weigh those. It was cold in Chicago and Jimin was like, don't catch a cold. But then afterwards we were all kind of sick and very sad because it was over. And make sure you know the weather, and if you don't know, maybe do like a quick Google search. Maybe I should have anticipated it to be colder because I do live in the Midwest, and I think preparing for colder weather is definitely more easy, right? Because even if you do have coats or a lot of clothing on or layers, you can definitely take it off as well. So I think layering is definitely very helpful, especially during BTS's first winter concert. But it was a great experience, and now I'm going to move on to talk about my memorable experiences or parts that stood out to me. Hope you guys enjoy this video, and this is, well, the last time that I'll appear in person. The rest will be in voiceover. Bye!
Actually, I don't know.
What?
What?
TS? No! This is my voice before the concert. This is my voice after the concert. There was a lot of yelling and screaming, and I feel like it's a lot better than it sounded like last night, but I don't know. I'm still on the high, but a few of my friends are kind of sick right now, which I understand. There was a lot of walking and screaming, but yeah, I kind of don't want to talk. All right, peace out. So I think I got the most hype during my drop, I would definitely say. And I think through the experience, I didn't realize that I don't know the fan chat. I was just like mumbling to myself until like they said BTS at the end. And my second point is that I didn't expect myself to cry, but I got emotional during Euphoria and Epiphany. Which, okay, I'll get to that in a second. So I didn't I didn't expect myself to cry during Euphoria, but I think that kind of makes sense. I think I was self-consciously really worried that Jungkook was gonna fall off. Um, but I think the mainly reason why I cried was I feel like Euphoria always puts me in a good mood, along with Serendipity, and so I feel like it was definitely that sense of rush about like being in a very happy state of mind and like knowing what you're passionate about, which I feel like I still need to find that, but it's feeling the happiness and learning about happiness and finding that significant thing in your life that makes you happy, which I have no idea what I'm talking about right now, but it's just like what rushed into my head when I thought about it, which I think feeling euphoric should always be about finding something that you love doing and being passionate about it. So yeah. So I also got emotional during Epiphany, which is very funny because I had an epiphany during Epiphany. I think after listening to live, it made me realize like the whole theory of BTS and like going back in time and having this reflective state about going back and changing things and about the future, past and present. Yeah. And I think I definitely I feel like in the past I usually skip Epiphany, but I now feel like I wouldn't do that as often anymore, which Jan Stan's gonna kill me, but that's how I felt. So yeah. And the third song that stood out to me was Singularity. I was definitely the part where like it showed on screen where Tae was like interacting with the screen. I may answer a clip if I can find one, but that just made me think about like the creative processes and everything, and how I think for the longest time I've been wearing a mask and I like lost my creative touch. So hopefully I can go back into that, but it was just really artistic and pretty, and that stood out to me. Also, I learned that armies are awesome. I love this fandom so much. Even though we are toxic, I can feel like statistically speaking, if you have like people in a large group, there's always going to be rotten apples in it at the end of the day, right? That's how we are. We are good and bad, yada yada yada. But short story, so this random girl like came up to my friend. She was like, "Oh my gosh, I love your outfit," and that was awesome. Like my friend, she was like, "Oh my gosh," and we talked about it. Also a girl handing out coffee. I think the day 2 of Chicago, which I saw on Twitter, which I might insert a clip if I can find that again. Hopefully, it's on the internet. Like, come on, Sherry, like it's gonna be on there. And there was also armies handing out goodie bags. And also shout out to the girl who was like very anxious because I feel that too. I guess what happened was she had a mix up with her tickets and she was like trying to find her friends, and so she tagged along with my friends and I in line. And if you're watching this video, by the way, I just want to give you a shout out. So another memorable moment is that my army bomb did not sync with everyone else's or projected the colors that it did for each of the songs. So what I did is just left it on default. And the person next to me I noticed also had the same trouble as well. I was just wondering if because the person that was supposed to be sitting next to me wasn't able to make the concert and that's why it wasn't able to sync up with everyone else's. But I think regardless of whether or not you have an army bomb, you'll have a good time. It was something that I was debating on if I should buy an army bomb or not, but I did, and I waved it around even if it was on default, and I had a good time dancing in my seat. So yeah, and now that I have an army bomb, it's definitely a great souvenir and also has more sentimental value because it experienced my first concert together. I couldn't find the clip But I remember this one part where the members were all talking in English, kind of interacting with the fans, and then it was Namjoon's turn to speak, and then the whole crowd went, Namjoon, 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 and it was so cute, and he like kind of danced in his place, and he was like, my mom would love this, and I thought it was just so cute and memorable. But I mean, all of the members, like what they said during their moments were all memorable as well. I even have a clip of like my friend saying how V slash Taeyang told us that they will be back next year, and Jimin telling us that not to get sick, which I might have mentioned earlier.
Take 'em off! Take 'em off! That sweet, sweet, sweet kitty me.
So during Euphoria, my friend that was sitting next to me in the concert starting saying the Jungkook Iminda saying, and I just looked at her like, what? But she told me that she wasn't the only one saying it, and it wasn't until that I saw on Twitter that everyone else was in the crowd was doing it as well. I just made that connection, and I think that made it more memorable. Not only did I cry during Euphoria, but also that people were kind of chanting and having a good time during it as well. Another thing is, like, HOBI has wrecked my bios list. Like, boy, you need to calm down. So another memorable moment was that my slogan slash banner got wet. I don't exactly remember what it was called, but it got wet during the show because I laid it on the floor, and then I guess someone's water bottle got onto it. And so after the concert, you see me like walking up ahead of my seat and then down below my seat too. My friends were like, what are you doing? But I was trying to find the best version so I could keep it, and I definitely collected 5 of them, I think. I might insert a clip here soon, but I just wanted to have it for the memories, and it just really sucked that I get wet. But I think I might possibly sorry, my cat is like, the last BTS song during the concert was
Mikrokosmos.
And it didn't really hit me that it was the last song until I saw the members on the big screen like waving goodbye, and that's when I got really sad. But with the fireworks and the big logo kind of being shown, it was also really comforting and a really beautiful goodbye. But I would definitely never hear the song
Mikrokosmos.
the same way again, because it's a very bittersweet moment how I went to my first BTS concert, but also really sad because it had to end. It was the best 2 hours of my life. But seriously though, like the fireworks and everything else that went to it also made an impact too, because I remember seeing the firework and I was so scared that it was gonna land on me, and it did land on the back of my neck, and it was just weird. So I kind of blamed the pyro technician or whatever for not calculating that right, but considering that it helped me just get distracted and away from the pain, then kudos to you. But joking aside about that pyrotechnician joke, or whatever the right terminology or job description and title is, I do like to thank everyone that was involved, the members, the venue, security, the company, the coordinators, everyone who helped set up the concert. Thank you for an unforgettable night. Thank you for letting me remember this day, and thank you from the bottom of my heart, and thank you from ARMYs. Like, thank you.